The SmartDitch MegaDitch system is an expandable channel lining system and extremely dependable solution for drainage systems where erosion control or optimized water flow is needed. MegaDitch is specifically designed to convey larger volumes of water and can be used for the rehabilitation of large concrete-lined and earthen ditches and canals. It has been designed to conform to a variety of slopes and grades. Its base and sidewalls provide infinite expansion possibilities and can be engineered to flat-bottom and V-bottom channels with a 1-to-1 side slope. The MegaDitch components are easy to handle and it installs quickly. Made of UV and corrosion-resistant high-density polyethylene, it lasts for decades and is 100% recyclable. Hardware included with your MegaDitch system includes base section, sidewalls, gaskets, sealant, caulk dispenser for 600 milliliter adhesive packs and applicator tips, anchors, screws, HDPE, plastic washers, steel washers, cable locks, and optional edge protection. For an efficient and proper installation, you will need to supply the following equipment and tools: excavating equipment, commercial-grade impact driver, drill, driving rod for the anchors, hammer drill, tamping bar, a 7/16" 11mm open-end wrench, 3/8" 10mm socket, a 1/2" 13mm drill bit, socket adapters for cordless drill, hammers, reciprocating saw, jigsaw, and circular saw, vice grips, side snips, broom with firm bristles, leaf blower, utility knives, tape measure, chalk or paint for marking locations, shovels, and rakes. Before any MegaDitch quote will be prepared, soil samples should be analyzed by a geotechnical consultant to determine the unified soil classification and to verify the soil is stable on a 1-to-1 slope. Once the design has been approved, you are ready to install MegaDitch. Start by removing all debris, rocks, tree roots, and sharp objects from the existing ditch. If excavation is part of your ditch relining plan, remove unstable soils until the area is firm and smooth. It is also important to fill any voids. The trench should be compacted to 90% modified Proctor density. And when shaping the ditch, a side slope of 1-to-1 is preferred. The side slope can be compacted by tamping with the backhoe bucket. Many MegaDitch installers use a custom fabricated blade attached to a bulldozer or backhoe to ensure optimal shape. If that is not available, a wood form or template is recommended. Starting at the furthest point downstream, base sections are laid in the bottom of the ditch and are aligned according to marks on the product. Small upstream and large downstream. This is where the rib pattern overlaps. The markings are under the end rib of each section. Depending on the width of your ditch, multiple bases may be required. If so, place a screw in the top of every rib at the seam, ensuring the gap is no more than 1/4 inch, 6 millimeters. Due to variances and installation factors, it may be necessary to add extra screws on the sides of the ribs. Do not install screws in the upstream rib to provide for overlapping the next section. Then apply your sealing gasket over the small rib. It is important the gasket covers the entire span of the ribs. Once each base section is laid, drill a 1/2" 13mm hole at the center of each multiple joint overlap and in the middle of the section, unless indicated differently on the project drawings. Use chalk or paint to mark anchor locations through these holes. Then move the base section out of the way to install your anchors. It is recommended that a 3-foot 915mm long, 1/2" 13mm diameter steel driving rod and hammer drill be used to drive the standard better built anchors into the ground. For particularly hard soils, adding a custom collar to the drive rod can prevent the rod from punching through the anchor. To ensure the most secure installation, specifications call for each anchor to be at least 30 inches, 760 millimeters, into the ground. Once in place, pull up firmly on the cable to set the anchor. Then, thread the anchoring cable through the 1/2" holes in the base section. Slip the HDPE washer, steel washer, and cable lock on the end of the cable. Grip the cable lock with a pliers or open-end wrench and use a socket to tighten the bolt until 100 pounds per foot, 11.3 Newton meters, is achieved for maximum hold. Trim excess cable, leaving 2 inches for subsequent adjustments. Then, apply the next base section, placing the large downstream side over the small upstream side. If your installation requires multiple base sections, it is recommended that you pre-drill half-inch holes for the anchoring cable where the large downstream side of the new base sections meet in the center. Then thread cable from the previous section through these new holes. Insert 5 screws across the seam, including 1 in the center seam. After your base section is completed, locate the left and right markings on the MegaDitch sidewall sections. They are located on the underside middle of the end rib. It is important to note that these markings correspond to flow direction when facing downstream. Align side and base section ribs, always staggering the sidewall overlap joint 2 ribs from the base overlap joint. Then drive 1 screw at the top of each rib where the side meets the base, about 1 inch, 25 millimeters, from the edge. Do not fasten the upstream rib to provide for overlapping the next section. Install additional screws in the side of the ribs as required to provide a maximum 1/4 inch, 6 millimeter gap. Then apply a gasket to the small rib and overlap the next section. Apply 4 fasteners along overlap edge 18 inches apart, with the last one on top of the knuckle. Once the sidewall section is installed, it needs to be anchored. Pre-drill half-inch, 13 millimeter holes at every multiple joint overlap and at the midpoint of the sidewall, unless indicated differently on the project drawings. A half-inch, 13 millimeter driving rod and hammer drill is needed to drive the anchor at least 30 inches, 915 millimeters, into the ground. Firmly pull up on the cable to set the anchor and thread the cable through the half-inch hole. Slip the steel washer and cable lock down to the end of the cable. Grip the cable lock with pliers or open-end wrench and use a socket to tighten the bolt until 100 pounds per foot, 11.3 Newton meters, is achieved for maximum hold. Tuck the excess cable away or trim it back, leaving 2 inches for adjustments later. As each section is installed, sealant must be applied to optimize MegaDitch's performance. Although weather conditions are not always ideal, sealants apply best in warm temperatures. Cut the applicator tip to lay a bead 1/4 inch, 6 millimeters, thick. Place your supplied sealant package in the caulk dispenser and clip the end to open. Then place the applicator tip onto the dispenser. Prep the area by sweeping or blowing off debris, leaving it dry and clear. Apply the sealant to any overlap where there is no gasket, normally all seams that are parallel to the direction of flow. Lay a long continuous bead to seal overlapped sections. Seal around washers, cable lock areas, and screw heads if necessary. Normally, this is not required. The MegaDitch trench should provide uniform support against the MegaDitch. Coarse-grained, angular soils are acceptable backfill material, and native soils are typically the best to use. Care should be taken to make sure there are not rocks, sharp objects, debris, or organic material in the backfill material. A tamping bar or shovel can be used to compact the backfill in the area between the trench wall and the MegaDitch wall. Care should be taken to ensure the backfill is not over-compacted, causing the MegaDitch sidewall to bulge into the channel. The soil beyond the outside MegaDitch edge should be compacted to 90% modified Proctor density. Since every MegaDitch installation is truly unique, once you complete the first few sections of MegaDitch, you will find that staging each section will improve installation efficiency. It is recommended that after the first day of installation, regroup with your installation team and establish an installation procedure that works best for you and your site's conditions. For more information or installation support, contact your local MegaDitch representative or call the support line 1-866-576-2783 or visit our website at www.smartditch.com.
Blake Morgan, Kirsten Construction. We are a first-time contractor with MegaDitch. It's simple, straightforward. There's a lot to it, but it's nothing complicated.
I'm Mike Kishimoto with Natural Resource Conservation Service out of Glenwood Springs, Colorado. As far as using this particular product, we have looked at this as an engineering crew actually for almost 10 years, trying to find a solution for this. As we learned about the product and we had several meetings with MegaDitch, we worked directly with their engineering department. As I obviously am not an expert at this, so we worked together to put this together. GPS surveying and CAD made it easy to basically work together online is what it amounted to with the engineering department at SmartDitch, and all of that work was put to our state office and area office and approved for construction this fall 2013, and also cost shared by the Natural Resource Conservation Service.
It's a good product, it's a good idea, it's new, there's not a lot of them out there, and I think definitely that this could definitely go somewhere and replace a lot of problems and issues that people have.